Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of our daily news program, and in today's major headlines. The President of the Republic and the Italian Prime Minister chair the signing ceremony of 5 memoranda of understanding between Algeria and Italy relating to several sectors. President Tebboune and the Italian Premier Meloni hold a press conference to address bilateral relations between the two countries, as well as a set of issues of common interest. Following the crash of a military helicopter, the President of the Republic extends a message of condolences to the Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, also to the victims' families. The Army General Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Saïd Chinguereha, is received by the French President Emmanuel Macron, to whom he conveyed a message of the President of the Republic. And to rally Algerian competences living in France and make them a force in the edification of the country, a meeting is held by the Algerian community in Lyon in France. Good evening and welcome back. First of all, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, reserved an official welcome to the Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni at the Presidency of the Republic. The ceremony kicked off with Algeria's guests saluting the national anthem. And that before reviewing a detachment of the Republican Guard which paid her the honors. The President of the Republic then greeted the Italian Prime Minister. They later took a souvenir photo before the national and international press and greeted members of the two countries' delegations. Still at the Presidency of the Republic, where President Tebboune held face-to-face discussions with the Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni. The discussions were then enlarged to include both the Algerian and Italian delegations. Later in the day, the President of the Republic and the Italian Premier signed a joint declaration marking the 20th anniversary of the Friendship, Cooperation and Good Neighborliness Treaty.
الذكرى العشرين للإمضاء على معاهدة الصداقة حسن الجوار والتعاون. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد عبدالمجيد تبون رئيس الجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية. عن الجانب الإيطالي السيدة جورجيا ميلوني رئيس مجلس الوزراء لجمهورية إيطاليا.
In a related context, the President of the Republic and the Italian Prime Minister chaired the signing ceremony of 4 memoranda of understanding between Algeria and Italy relating to several sectors.
تفاهم وتعاون بين مجلس التجديد الاقتصادي الجزائري والكونفدرالية العامة للصناعة الإيطالية. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد كمال مولا رئيس مجلس التجديد الاقتصادي الجزائري كوريا. عن الجانب الإيطالي السيد كارلو بونومي رئيس الكونفدرالية العامة للصناعة الإيطالية كونفندوستريا. مذكرة تفاهم لتحسين شبكات الربط الطاقوي بين الجزائر وإيطاليا من أجل الانتقال الطاقوي المستدام. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد توفيق حكار رئيس المدير العام لمجمع سوناتراك. عن الجانب الإيطالي السيد كلاوديو ديسكالسي المدير العام لمجمع إيني. مذكرة تفاهم حول التعاون التكنولوجي لخفض إحراق الغاز، التثمين وتقنيات أخرى لخفض الانبعاثات. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد توفيق حكار الرئيس المدير العام لمجمع سوناتراك. عن الجانب الإيطالي السيد كلاوديو ديسكالسي المدير العام لمجمع إيني. مذكرة تفاهم للتعاون في مجال الأنشطة الفضائية للأغراض السلمية. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد عز الدين أصديق المدير العام للوكالة الفضائية الجزائرية آزال. عن الجانب الإيطالي السيد جورجو ساكوتشا رئيس الوكالة الفضائية الإيطالية آزي.
In a related topic, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, and the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, held a press conference during which they addressed the bilateral relations linking the two countries, as well as a set of issues of common interest. Melissa Kebash with the details.
During the press conference, the President of the Republic, along with Algeria's guest, reviewed bilateral relations as well as ways and means of reinforcing the ties binding the two countries. Different questions of common interest at both regional and international levels were discussed as well. The President of the Republic recalled the strategic relationship linking the two countries, as well as the efforts deployed for the past 2 years so as to upgrade partnership between both countries and increase trade exchanges that have recorded great results. President Tebboune also renewed Algeria's will to strengthen its position as Italy's strategic partner in the fields of energy and industry.
أن أنوه بمستوى العلاقات الاستراتيجية وبالمجهودات المبذولة خاصة في السنتين الأخيرتين لتعزيز الشراكة بين البلدين والرفع من حجم المبادلات التجارية التي حققت في مدة قصيرة نتائج معتبرة، حيث بلغ حجمها 16 مليار دولار سنة 2022 بعدما كان حجمها 8 ملايير دولار في سنة 2021. جددت للسيدة ميلوني حرص الجزائر على تعزيز مكانتها كشريك استراتيجي لإيطاليا في المجال الطاقوي والتزامها بدورها كممول موثوق على الصعيدين الإقليمي والدولي، وكذا الأمر بالنسبة للاستثمار الصناعي بإيطاليا في الجزائر.
President Tebboune announced a project related to the manufacturing and marketing of Fiat cars starting from next March, alongside the manufacturing of motorcycles in Guelma province.
بالنسبة كذلك الميكانيك والتركيب في انتظار التصنيع الميكانيكي، عندنا شركة فيات اللي بدات يعني في فتح الورشات نتاعها، وعن قريب جدا في شهر مارس يبدو التصنيع تاع السيارات وتسويق نتاع سيارة فيات الكهربائية وغيرها. بالنسبة إلى كذلك الدراجات النارية، باش ننطلق كذلك في إنتاج دراجات نارية فيسبا في جالما مع بعض في المصنع الجزائري في جالما، ونمر إن شاء الله مراحل أخرى.
Regarding the strategic partnership between Algeria and Italy, the President highlighted the importance of the special pipeline project that will transmit power from Algeria to Italy in the near future, knowing that the agreement has been signed today.
مدة التنفيذ اتركها للتقنيين. أعتقد أنها ستكون قصيرة، ولكن الأنبوب في حد ذاته اتفقنا عليه ومضينا الاتفاق اليوم على أساس بداية الدراسة ثم الإنجاز في أنبوب يكون أنبوب خاص، ما هوش أنبوب مثل الأنبوب الموجود حاليا، لأنه أنبوب سيضم أولا الغاز، ثانيا هيدروجين، الأمونياك، وحتى الكهرباء. إذن مشروع هام جدا يجعل من إيطاليا يعني موزع لهذه الطاقات عبر أوروبا، لإيطاليا بحد ذاتها ثم مع أوروبا.
The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, indicated the convergence of views on regional and international questions, hailing Italy's position that calls for a solution to the Sahrawi cause that will allow the Sahrawi people to regain their legitimate rights.
وفيما يتعلق بقضية الصحراء الغربية، أنوه بالموقف الإيجابي والمتوازن لإيطاليا الداعي إلى إيجاد حل عادل لهذه القضية في إطار ما نصت عليه قرارات الأمم المتحدة، وبما يمكن الشعب الصحراوي من حقوقه المشروعة. ومن هذا المنطلق فقد تم الاتفاق على دعم المبعوث الشخصي للأمين العام للأمم المتحدة السيد ديميستورا والبعثة الأممية من أجل الاستفتاء في الصحراء الغربية.
For her part, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni indicated that Italian companies are ready to invest in Algeria while welcoming on the occasion the facilitations granted by our country. Let's have a listen.
I believe that it is an important initiative. The presidency and the government are doing a remarkable job of encouraging foreign investment in Algeria. We can only salute the adoption of all actions aimed at facilitating investment and ensure stability in this sector. Several Italian companies are ready to invest in Algeria, which is a strategic partner. We are very happy that the government is moving forward in its actions, which will increase foreign investment here in Algeria, especially the Italian investments.
She also affirmed that Algeria is a very important partner in the region, notably when it comes to consolidating cooperation between the two shores of the Mediterranean.
Concerning the new fields likely to constitute other partnership opportunities, I have approached some important and essential sectors in which we must develop cooperation according to our common interests. I will mention among others infrastructures, digitalization, health and telecommunications. There are several sectors in which we are working to develop our cooperation, without forgetting the partnership between small and medium-sized enterprises which operate in similar fields. We aspire to strengthen the agreements and memoranda that have been signed recently in strategic sectors. We have great aspirations concerning the Mattei Plan for Africa. We are focusing as a first step on the Mediterranean region, and North Africa will obviously be a priority, and Algeria in particular, because it is the most stable strategic partner and most reliable in the long term.
The Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni carried a visit to the Enrico Mattei Garden, where she paid her respects in front of the commemorative stele, which symbolizes the Algerian-Italian friendship. It is worth recalling that the Enrico Mattei Garden was inaugurated on November of 2021 during the visit of the Italian President Sergio Mattarella. Still in the capital Algiers, where Giorgia Meloni visited the Rais Palace Bastien 23, where she received explanations on the different cultural treasures of the palace. The Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni ended her working and friendship visit to Algeria. She was seen off at the Houari Boumediene International Airport by the Prime Minister Ayman Ben Abdelrahman as well as other government members. In a new development and during a planned flight mission, a helicopter of type Mi-171S crashed on Monday afternoon near the locality of El Attaf in Indifla province in the first military region, causing the death of Colonel Mourad Menari, Commander Musa Mohammed Dahmani, and Sergeant Usama Shabouba. In this painful ordeal, the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, Abdelmajid Tebboune, presented his condolences to the families of the martyrs as well as all the members of the National People's Army, praying Allah Almighty to welcome them in His vast paradise. And for his part, the Army General Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Said Chingareha, presented on his behalf and on behalf of the National People's Army's personnel his most sincere condolences and deepest feelings of compassion to the families of the Shuhadas or martyrs, praying Allah Almighty to welcome them in His vast paradise. The Army General also ordered the immediate opening of an investigation to determine the causes of this accident. In a new development and as part of the official visit which started on Monday to France at the invitation of the Army General Thierry Bucard, Chief of Staff of the French Armed Forces, the Army General Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Said Chingareha, was received by the French President Emmanuel Macron, to whom he conveyed a message of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense. In addition to the Algerian delegation, were present on the spot the French Minister of the Armed Forces, Sébastien Lecornu, the Army General Thierry Bucard, Chief of Staff of the French Armed Forces. On the occasion, the two parties discussed the Algerian-French military cooperation as well as the means for its consolidation. Upon his arrival at the Paris-Le Bourget airport in France, the Army General Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, Said Chingareha, was welcomed by Éric Pelletier, the General in charge of international military relations at the command of the French Army Staff, and the Algerian ambassador to France. In a different story, and to rally the Algerian competencies living in France and make them a force in the edification of the country was a set objective by the authorities. To this effect, a meeting was held in Lyon, where several associations and organizations representing several sectors in the presence of a delegation of MPs were gathered. Najah Tayyar reports.
At Lyon, the annual evening of the dynamic Algerians movement in France began by displaying the community ambitions of developing Algeria according to its potentialities. This gathering allowed me to approach my roots. I am very glad I have attended. With the objective being displayed, it would help structuring the Algerian community that is capable of supporting each other in France and also to carry out projects in Algeria. A good news for the local associations in search for support. It is the essential step for encountering Algerians who are in the same field and also to find sponsors to present Algeria in the best way. 210 people from all the different professional and social backgrounds prepared this event, where the Consul General recalled the President of the Republic's recommendations. Algerians who came today are very aware of the Algerians' potentialities in several professions. I recall the collective work deployed in order to meet and gather other Algerians who aim to achieve the community's objectives, that is, the development of Algeria. This meeting achieved its purpose of rallying the Algerian competencies living abroad and making them a force for the edification of the country.
In another context, Morocco has been listed by the World Bank among countries facing food security, with a sharp rise in food prices and a high inflation rate. Ines Kalou gives us a snapshot of this alarming situation.
In addition to an unprecedented social crisis, the Mahzen is facing its worst economic crisis in decades. Economists point the finger at the government's mismanagement, accusing the latter of being the root of such a situation. Morocco was also classified in the list of countries being in the red zone by the World Bank in its latest report on food security. Countries characterized by a sharp rise in food prices, estimated between 5 and 30%. The same global financial institution warned of the continuation of inflation, which reached a record high from 4.3% in January 2022 to 14.4% in November of the same year. The purchasing power of Moroccans continued to decline, with a flagrant impoverishment of the working class that have pushed more of the half of the Moroccan household below the poverty line. Faced with its alarming situation, Moroccans continue to take to the streets to protest against the high cost of living and the soaring prices of basic food products and fuel. The Moroccans do not budge, even if the Mahzen regime continues to ignore their demands, and they are more than ever determined to fight for the minimum demands.
And let's wrap up our news edition with the Shan competition being held in Algeria. Madagascar ended the group stage with Fez at the top of Group C after beating Sudan with 3-0 and moved to the second round of the competition along with Ghana. And with that, we come to the end of our today's program. As always, thank you for watching and goodbye.